Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Tomomi Gariano, a certified Zentangle teacher. Today is day 23 of Inktober 2023. Today's tangle is Roos by Oswaldo Burbano, CZT from Spain. So this tangle is really fun once you get the hang of it, but it may be a little confusing at the beginning. So I'm gonna go step by step. I will make my space a little even smaller. It's a small piece of paper, but I'm gonna make this even smaller so that I have a clear edge by creating a border. So this tangle starts with zigzag line, and you can draw this zigzag line in any directions you want. I think I'm gonna go like a little diagonal, and then once you have one zigzag line, you're going to draw a parallel one. So I think it's easier if your corners are kind of lining up. So if it makes it easier, you know, you can add a little bit of pencil guideline to help. I think once you get hang of it, you can do this in a skewed space. But I think when you learn something like this, just a little bit intertwined element to the tangle, it's easier. I find it easier to learn and also teach in a very organized manner. So if you have this zigzag really nice and parallel, I think it's gonna make it easier to add subsequent lines. So you have more or less zigzag lines like this, and once you have that, from the corner, the corner that's pointing upwards, you're gonna add a little line growing up, and not quite touching, but going up, and up. And then once you have that, focusing on the corner that's pointing down, or the arrow that's pointing down, and then you're going to do the same thing, just a little short line, not too short, but not quite touching the other side. Okay, like this. And then you focus your attention on the ones that's pointing up, and you're going to aura this. And if you look at the step out, he's drawing a shape, something like this. And you have this little funny tail. But if you can imagine, this will be really helpful later. If you can imagine this line is actually connecting like this and auraing. And you're not drawing this line, but it's actually kind of one continual line. So like here, it's coming like this. Does that make sense? So you're not really drawing one continual line, but imagine this little tail is not going to a random direction. There's a place that this is actually going in your head, or in your imaginary dotted lines in your head. So that hopefully will help you to know where this little tail should be going. So you went around all these ones that's pointing upwards. And this line could be longer too. I think once you've done it, once it's gonna make sense. So once you have these lines that's auraing around the line that's going up, you're going to aura the one that's heading down or aiming down. So this one, as you can imagine, is the same sort of thing. This line is going to connect here, right? That's the kind of line that you're drawing, but what's happening is you're actually touching this line here and here. So you can actually, instead of doing what I did, you can do this. You can start from here and aura around and like this. So you get essentially the same thing. And then imagine, remember this line close like this, right? Then you ink in this. This little space you have. And then, so my inked in space is rather big, so it may take a little while, but then you can see how kind of staggered look. So let me show you something like here. So you can do this, like kind of when you look at the step out, it may look like you're just doing something like this and just add bump. You can do it that way too, just completely ignore the continuity of the line. But I think if you can just imagine this line is actually going behind this shape and coming out like this, it's gonna create a really nice interlocking look. I mean, you can create an illusion by not doing this much of detail, just adding a little bump afterwards, but it's just something to consider. And this, when you let me see, when you bring this line, it doesn't exactly have to connect because you're inking in anyway, so you can sculpt the shape. Maybe you're going to go a little higher, so you can make a micro adjustment as you go. So it's not so much about creating the perfect bump to me, to have this black section I'm talking about, but really to create the look that something is going behind and something is coming forward. So this is a drawing behind technique that I'm using. So this one's gonna come out here and around and here. And this is gonna be inked in. So take your time, go nice and slow. This type of tangle that has the interlocking, intertwining feel to it, it's easy to get really thrown off and lose your spot on get confused on what you were doing. I've taught this type of tangle, not exactly this is my first time in drawing this, but this kind of interlocking, intertwined tangle in so many different classes. And I think this has something to do with just, it's not so much of your drawing ability or artistic creative ability, but I think it has something to do with more of how your brain is wired, how you see your space. So sometimes some people have really hard time seeing this kind of interlocking. Something is going behind something else, and it's covered by another element that's hidden. It takes a little bit of kind of imagination to see what's not visible, because you are creating a three-dimensional world on a two-dimensional paper, right? So if you feel like, oh gosh, I'm lost, I don't know what I'm doing, don't feel bad. It's just that's how your brain process world around you. It's just different, and it's not like one is better than the other. It's just the different strengths. Like how we are all uniquely, we're all uniquely different, right? We have different likes, different strengths, and different weaknesses, and all of that makes this world more interesting and beautiful place to live. So if you get confused with this kind of tangle, it is absolutely okay. You may take more practice to get the shape, or you may find really very, very different approach to arrive the same result, perhaps simpler than what I'm explaining or how I am approaching. So find your way, find your unique way to approach this tangle if I'm confusing you. And also, I know a lot of people are creating videos and different tools for Inktober, yeah, I've seen some videos, and also I've seen some people creating their own step out. So look for resources and to see what makes sense to you. So okay, so I kind of got lost. So this one's gonna come down here, so it's gonna come up like this, I think. So especially when I get close to the edge, I get confused too, so I have to pay attention what I'm doing. But in the end, it's gonna work out. It's funny that we think we're so smart, but our brain is so easily tricked into believing what we see is real, or kind of trick art. When I don't know if you've seen one of those trick art that looks completely three-dimensional, but it's actually two-dimensional painting that you can even immerse yourself. So it's kind of like that, our brain will believe what it wants to believe. So don't worry too much about it, just go for it, and it's gonna work out. And also remember, we're gonna shade and highlight, and that's gonna create even more interesting, or accentuate the look of three-dimensionality and intertwinedness. So don't give up. Just remember, there's no mistake in Zentangle. If you feel like you're not going the direction that you want it to go, it's okay. Just you create something different, something new. It's an opportunity. So now I'm starting to shade. I'm going to create this intertwined look by first adding shading here. I think that's a good start. Okay, so I'm adding shading here, here. My intention is I'm going all the way here, but I don't think I need to shade over black too much. I'm just gonna use a little bit of graphite on the tortillon itself to just gently go there, but go over the black, but it's not adding pencil directly so much. And then I will do the same on the opposite side. That's going down this way. I think that's gonna create more intertwined, overlapping, going over and under feel to this. And also too, like my this U shape or finger-ish shape is sticking out only a little bit, but depending on how you drew your line, depending on how big your inked in this grain-like shape black space is, you may have more of a this U shape sticking out, and probably will accentuate more of an overlapped look. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just softly go over this initial zigzag. Just using just a little bit of graphite to pick up. I want this to be really soft, so I'm not using a pencil so much, but just adding a little bit shading. And I think what I'm gonna do is I wanna highlight the tip to create a contrast against the shaded area. What I'm doing is I'm bringing this finger-ish shape, the tip of each of these shape forward by adding highlight. Okay, and now with that, my initial line got a little weak. Initial zigzag line, not zigzag line, initial this vertical line that I added got a little weak. So I'm going over and I may add a little dot to give a little more presence. And feel free to turn your tile as you tangle. I try to avoid turning my tile as much as I can, especially when I'm showing this kind of intertwined shape. It kind of tickles my brain. That's what I always says. Oh, it tickles my brain because you're drawing, but you kind of have to think what goes in front and what goes behind, and after a while it will come naturally. You don't even have to think. It just takes practice. So be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. I think this video probably is so far the longest one for my Inktober 2023 project, because I wanted to really give a good explanation to this fun tangle. I think this tangle deserves a lot of attention and love and practice. So if you're having fun, that's great. If you are having frustrating time, just take a deep breath and enjoy and create something beautiful. And thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for Inktober day 24. Bye now.